Well, everybody, today was the season finale of Severance season two. We actually watched season one at the end of last year, so I believe people were actually waiting like 3 years for Severance season two to come out. But for us, it was almost instantaneous. I did enjoy season two. I liked season one better though. But this last episode was wild.
Yeah, I like the last episode.
Yeah, I did too. Couple of highlights from the season. I had no idea at first that it was actually Helena instead of Helly R in like the first 4 episodes because she infiltrated the severed floor. And when they were out on that field trip in the cold, and it got exposed that it was actually her that whole time. So, but in this finale right here, the ending was crazy. Now, you can see from this picture right here, I was wondering about this. That is Mark S. That is the innie right there. And he just let Gemma go out the door, and she goes back to her normal form instead of the severed form. And then you see Helly right there. I was wondering, was that actually Helena trying to keep Marcus in Lumen? I was wondering that. So is she the non-severed person right there? I was curious about that. Something's telling me, because season 3 is coming. He got renewed and don't know when. This is probably Helena instead of Heliar that brought him back in, because she knows that Marcus and Helly have a relationship.
Yes, but as you said before, he doesn't want to be erased after Mark get out of the door.
Right. We need to kind of go back a little bit, because this whole episode was like an hour and 20 minutes or so. And you actually see Marcus and Mark Scout talking to each other via camcorder. And Marcus, who is the severed personality, doesn't want to really kind of help Mark, because he knows the end game is, I'm going to be out of existence.
Yes, and he doesn't. He now knows that he has a wife, but he doesn't have any feeling for her.
Yeah, that's because he never knew Gemma.
Yeah.
The innie never knew Gemma at all. He knew her as Miss Casey and nothing more.
Yes, but the other one knows.
Yeah, because that was his wife. They were married for 4 years.
He has feeling for her.
Yeah, and she has feelings for him, because when he lets her through that door and she turns back into Gemma, she's begging him to come through the door.
Yeah.
And then Helly or Helena, I'm thinking now that's probably Helena, walks through the other side to confuse Marcus, and he ends up running away with her. The ending was wild. He also kills that guy from Lumen.
Yeah.
That was pretty wild, because it was actually the innie that had that guy in the elevator, and he held that gun to him. And then when he changed back into the regular Mark, he ended up triggering that gun. It shot the guy in the neck, and the guy just bleeds out. It's pretty brutal.
Yeah, and I'm surprised and happy that the old lady in Lumen, she was fired. What's her name?
Oh, Cobell.
Yeah, Cobell. I'm pretty surprised that she's played kind of a big part where she has a change of heart to help Mark.
Yeah, she had the inside knowledge. Remember, she got fired from Lumen. But however, look down here. We were wondering what is Cold Harbor. What are they actually coding? Now, we do see where it does mention that Miss Cobell did invent the severed chip. She had a whole episode to herself.
Yes.
It wasn't that great, but it did give you some insight on that. Now, what Cold Harbor is actually doing is creating when Mark and the other MDR workers were putting in those numbers into computers, they were actually making new personalities for Gemma. And they got through 24 or something like that. And
25.
they needed one more. And once they complete that and they go through with the test, it would actually wipe out the existence of Gemma. So that was the whole intention of Cold Harbor. But of course, that didn't happen. So those plans are definitely disrupted now. And like here, it says, as Mr. Cobell, inventor of the Severance chip, explains, Mark's number organization of Cold Harbor was creating a new any personality for Gemma, working via Kerr's kooky theory of the four tempers. The experimentation on Gemma was all about ensuring that the severed can be split into multiple personalities without the outie leaking through. And we actually saw that happen quite a bit when Gemma had her own episode. When she was going into each one of these doors, and that was really, we found out, was created by Mark and the Severed crew.
Yeah, and I feel like, I guess Lumen think that is doing a good thing where their personal relationship would not affect the work relationship, maybe?
I think it's something darker and deeper.
Maybe, but I'm not sure. I'm thinking maybe they are training the employee to be obedient, stuff like that.
Well, I think they really don't want the employees to really know what they're working on. That's probably why they came out with the Severed project. Because a whole bunch of those people in there, they're Severed people. So when they walk out, they don't remember what they're doing. But look at this right here. It says the experimentation on Gemma was all about ensuring that the Severed can be split into multiple personalities without the outie leaking through. This is why Lumen gave her outie a crib to dismantle, one that resembles the model that Mark bought. They wanted to see if it would trigger her miscarriage trauma. Gemma manages to complete the task without remembering the significance of the crib. That was a test. But when she chooses to follow Mark, it seems to imply that the chip doesn't fully separate the personalities.
Yeah, it seems like they don't want... Why Mark was entering into Lumen is because he doesn't want to feel the pain.
Yeah, he said that he was
He was a teacher, and then
his
he
teacher
got
lost
fired.
his job because he was showing up drunk and everything because he was hurt over losing Gemma. But you found out, of course, Lumen basically kidnapped Gemma.
Yeah, but then something happens. It's not really good thing to do because remember that the guy with a wife.
Oh yeah, Dylan.
Yeah, Dylan kissed his wife, but he doesn't know.
Yeah, the Annie kissed the Audie's wife, and
He got jealous.
the Audi didn't like it. But Howard, remember, he wrote that letter.
Yeah.
The Annie wrote the letter to resign to his Audi, and the Audi Dylan gave him a choice because it's like he respected him.
Yes, but at first he got jealous.
Yeah.
As if it's her husband, but has two different personalities.
Yeah. One thing they didn't touch on is the way the previous episode was ending with Irving. Mm-hmm. Remember, Bert sends Irving away, and he's not in this episode. Why did... I guess Bert probably knew about the final project, maybe. I'm not really sure, because Irving was not in this episode at all. Remember, he leaves on that train, and he goes far away, and Bert doesn't know where he's going. Mm-hmm. So they're going to have to tie that in. I was thinking we'll probably get a little bit more explanation on that. Some of the stuff in the show is kind of hard to explain because it's a bunch of really like sci-fi stuff in here, you know. So overall, I like it. No word on when season 3 is going to happen. You see, even in this article here, Forbes is asking the same thing: was that Helly or Helena Egan? I was thinking that was Helena.
Maybe, I'm not sure, but I'm still wanting to find out what I know what Cold Harbor is, but I want to know what they are really, really doing.
Yeah.
Because in the first season of episode 1, the guy who is working in Lumen and then he ran away and the Lumen people was
Yeah,
catching him.
Petey.
Yeah, Petey. And he was telling Mark that it was dangerous because you go into the office and you are not yourself. And if someone tell you to do something, kill somebody, and then you get out of the office, you automatically don't know what is going on.
Right.
So it's something dangerous, but I don't get what it is.
Yeah, I think Cold Harbor was supposed to be a little bit more. I'm pretty sure season 3 is going to get more deeper into it, considering Cold Harbor pretty much failed in this season. It's got to be something deeper. It's got to be. It's got to be more than just, all right, we're just going to wipe out Gemma's real personality. It's got to be more than that.
Yeah, it is. It kind of reminds me of Westworld, the project that they are doing.
Yeah, in a way.
In a way.
Yeah. They bring up the goats. The goat stuff was weird. I didn't see why they needed
Yeah,
goats.
I don't. But in the last episode where they remember the guy who worked at Lumen said he need to sacrifice the goat.
Yeah, that's what I didn't understand. Apparently, because Gwendolyn Christie's character asked him how many more sacrifices do they need with the goats.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe even though they are doing some advanced technological experiment, they still kind of maybe in some type of religious person or something.
Yeah,
like
that's the kind of thing, right? It's kind of weird. I don't understand the goats, but I mean, maybe next season, they'll address some things more. So they have it, guys. Severance season 2, good season, not as good as season 1, but man, this last episode was wild.
Yeah.
Gonna leave right there, guys. We'll be back on Monday with another video. Until then, be safe.
Goodbye.